Hello again. Welcome back to the airport, to the departure lounge here at Print Island Airport. It's busy. Lots of people coming through the airport on their way to Edge Rockies. And guess who I found on their connecting flight? Not only Peter van Teeseling, but also Bob Raus. Gentlemen, welcome to the Layover.
Great to be here.
Nice to have
Happy
you.
to be here, Rich.
Yeah, nice to have you. So you're on your way, obviously. A shame that there was no direct flights, but your misfortune is my good fortune. So you're more than welcome to be here on the island with me. And it gives me a chance to ask you a few questions. Obviously, the hackathon is back this year at Edge Rockies. It worked really well last year, Peter, but you've made a few changes for this year. Tell us a little bit about what 4.0 looks like.
Yes, so the Hackathon 4.0, Richard, is basically extending the envelope of automation and AI into other functions in the print business. We're seeing, integration is the key to automation, as this famous gentleman would articulate, and we wanted that to come to life for more people in their companies that are not necessarily playing in that space or dabbling in that space, but really, get their hands involved and roll up their sleeves in automation and AI. And I think the program has definitely come to life in that way. I'm looking forward to having multiple disciplines come together and collaborate in that space.
No, it's brilliant. And looking at the program and the format, Bob, you're obviously looking at real life, real user challenges, rather than theoretical ones.
Absolutely. So first thing is, by the way, it's fantastic lounge. The drinks and the snacks are great. Thanks for everything. The key here for the hackathon, okay, is I'm going to say we're kind of flipping it on its head a little bit, okay? In the past, we've had very successful hackathons where we brought in IT and technical people, and we basically put them in a special area and then went into a very deep technical dive on all of our APIs, our entire suite, libraries, to the cloud, to the DFE, to the press, and that was very successful. So we have a number of people out there that are technical experts now and helping their companies automate. What we wanted to do this year was kind of take it and flip it over a little bit and make it more from the perspective of the owners, from the operations, from the folks that are struggling, let's say, with the day-to-day processes, and then help the IT team actually address those issues. And so what we've done is instead of like full 2-day deep dive, we've broken it up into 4 automation sprints. And the sprints will be 2 to 3 hours each, and they'll be running morning afternoon for 2 days at Edge Rockies. And then those sprints are based on business challenges. The first is AI-based selling and production. Okay, so how do we sell more? How do we get more quotes? How do we get more work, more opportunities, and win more work? That's number 1. Number 2, simplified web to profit. Now, web to print is one thing, and I know my good friend Chris Min would say that web to print is dead. But however, web to profit is alive and well. And the goal there is to bring in more work and automate more jobs, more uploads, etc., from people that, want to use the web to order print. The third is everybody's favorite and a big area of focus, which is touchless pre-flight and job submission. I've got orders coming in 10 different ways. How do I get them through pre-press, get them fixed up, because we all know that the jobs that come in from our customers aren't perfect in the beginning, right? To say the least. And finally, the last one I think is really getting a lot of great traction and interest. It's about estimated versus actual cost. It's one thing to estimate a job up front and say, well, we think that we'll make this much money. If everything goes to plan, it'll be profitable. The question is, did you actually make any money on those jobs in the end? And so we're using actual production data after it's produced to bring it back and calculate the actual versus the estimated cost, and helping the folks at that automation sprint, really get a better handle on their business based on fact and data.
I think, and Chris, I'm sure, would stand here if he was here and say web to print isn't dead. just the language of web to print. The actuality and the reality is moving on as the whole industry is. So I'm going to defend him because he's not here. He's over at the bar. He's over at the bar getting even more free drinks from the lounge here on Print Island.
Exactly.
But Peter, you must have considered this in terms of making these into shorter sprints. The effectiveness of those for visitors and also vertical specific, I guess, as well. Is that feedback that you've had from PSPs?
Yes, well, essentially, the hackathon 1, 2, and 3 really were focused on some of the areas Bob addressed earlier. And what it meant is the group was working together, so that was really good. But they were also not able to really engage with the other activities of the event. So yes to the keynotes and the party and those type of things, but making it more dynamic, allowing different groups to actually participate, and we're seeing it as well in the registrants, right? There's significantly more companies bringing multiple people to the conference, which is great because again, the hackathon is one of those appealing prospects. And so say if you're in sales and marketing, you would like to join some of the sessions in the afternoon, but you can also do one of these sprints in the morning. So yeah, that's how it's come about. And I think, again, it'll be a 5.0, 6.0, 7.0, but what I like about it is the experimental part of it, where it is really hands-on learning, right? We talk a lot about AI and it's sort of, big pie in the sky type of things, but I think what we are doing is actually going beyond it and really getting into it. And the hackathon is one of those things where it really just makes sense to get your heads down. I had it myself yesterday. I was talking to one of the people we're working with around things like AI tools for a business and using it for some of these practical things like Bob was showing. And it just makes so much more sense when you can actually experience it and go through it together with others. That's that shared learning experience, which is going to make it stick in a much, much better way.
Yeah, and I think this is where you're so right in making it specific, because you can only be generalistic for so long. With a problem. After a while, the appeal to a certain extent of the audience, if you're not careful, it can wear off if you're too generalistic every year. So the fact that you're building specificity, I love that word, into the program every year, I think is it reflects back on you guys. It's why Dscoop works so well, I think. Bob, tell me, what does success look like? What would you like the outcome to be from this year's hackathon?
So, one of the key things that we're doing and we're making really focused on this year is, I'm going to say, demystifying automation and leveraging AI, right? So when we think about these sprints, the goal is to bring in operations. The goal is to bring in executives. And by the way, of course, we love and we need IT. But the goal is to bring it to the business level and have people, address a particular issue, do some hands-on. You don't need to be a coder, by the way. Do some hands-on, work as a team, and actually have teams have a little fun with it. A little bit of competition. We'll have little trophies. We'll have fun things just to I'm going to say, add some entertainment value and make it interesting. But in the end, the goal is to focus on a business challenge and get it solved using technology versus focusing on technology and hoping someday we use it. Okay?
Yeah, exactly. No, I love that. It's a great idea. I wish you both well. I hope it goes fantastically well for you this year. Thank you for taking some time here in the lounge. I hope you get some more snacks before you get on your plane, which is connecting shortly. So you need to get to the gate, gentlemen. Yep. I'm going to let you get on your way and love to see you both. And we'll see you somewhere soon.
Thanks you.
So
Safe
much.
flight, everyone. And see you in Denver.
We'll see you there.